Every evening, when the golden sun slowly disappeared behind the green hills, the tiny village of Willow Creek became peaceful. Birds flew back to their nests, flowers folded their petals, and soft breezes whispered through the trees. At the edge of the village stood a small wooden cottage with blue windows and a bright red door. The cottage belonged to Grandpa Ravi, a cheerful old man with silver hair, kind eyes, and a warm smile that could brighten anyone's day. Living with Grandpa Ravi was his granddaughter Maya. She was 10 years old, full of curiosity, and loved asking questions about everything she saw. "Grandpa," Maya often asked, "how can one person make the whole world happier?" Grandpa Ravi would smile and reply, "One kind act at a time." Maya wasn't completely convinced. "That sounds too simple," she said one morning while watering the flowers. Grandpa chuckled. "Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful." Maya decided she would prove him wrong. "If I only do one kind thing today, I don't think anything big will happen." Grandpa smiled without arguing. "Let's find out." That afternoon, Maya noticed a tiny lantern sitting on Grandpa's shelf. It was old, made of brass, and decorated with tiny stars carved into its sides. "What's this?" she asked. Grandpa carefully picked it up. "This lantern has been in our family for many years." "Is it magical?" Grandpa laughed. "Only if you believe kindness is magic." Maya tilted her head. "I don't understand." "You will." Grandpa handed her the lantern. "Take it with you today." "But it doesn't even have a candle." "It doesn't need one." Maya looked puzzled, but she carried the lantern anyway. As Maya walked through the village, she wondered why Grandpa had given her an empty lantern. "This won't even light up," she whispered. She sat beneath a large oak tree, feeling a little disappointed. Just then, she remembered Grandpa's words. "One kind act at a time." Maya sighed. "Fine, I'll try." On her way home, she noticed several colorful toys scattered near the village path. They had been left behind after children played earlier that day. If someone walks here in the dark, Maya thought, they might trip. She carefully gathered every toy and placed them neatly beside the path where they could easily be found. As soon as she finished, the lantern gave off the tiniest golden sparkle. Maya blinked. "Did I imagine that?" She shook the lantern. "Nothing." The next morning, Maya and Grandpa worked together in the garden. Grandpa noticed Maya staring at the lantern. "It sparkled yesterday," she whispered. Grandpa simply smiled. "What did you do before it sparkled?" "I picked up some toys." "And why? So nobody would trip?" Grandpa nodded. "Interesting." Later that day, Maya filled a small bowl with fresh water and placed it under a shady tree for thirsty birds. She didn't expect anything to happen, but moments later, tiny golden lights danced inside the lantern. This time she gasped. "It really is magical." She hurried home. "Grandpa, Grandpa." He looked up from his rocking chair. "Yes?" It glowed again. "What were you doing?" "I left water for birds." Grandpa smiled. Kindness has a funny way of finding light. Now Maya couldn't wait to discover what would happen next. Every morning she searched for little ways to help. She swept fallen leaves from the village path. The lantern glowed brighter. She gently watered flowers that had started to wilt during a hot afternoon. The lantern shimmered with warm golden light. She carefully returned a wind-blown hat that had landed in a nearby field. The lantern sparkled like tiny stars. Every kind action made it brighter. Soon Maya noticed something even more surprising. The brighter the lantern became, the happier she felt. She laughed more often. She smiled at everyone she met. She felt proud, not because the lantern glowed, but because helping others made her heart feel warm. One evening she asked Grandpa, "Why does kindness make me happy?" Grandpa folded his hands. "Imagine your heart is like a garden." Maya listened carefully. When you plant seeds of kindness, flowers begin to bloom inside. So happiness grows? Exactly. A few days later, heavy rain poured over Willow Creek. Dark clouds covered the sky. Strong winds shook the trees. Branches and leaves covered many of the village paths. When the rain stopped, Maya looked outside. What a mess. Grandpa handed her a broom. "What do you think?" Maya smiled. "I know exactly what to do." Together, Maya and Grandpa spent the afternoon sweeping leaves, stacking broken branches neatly, and clearing muddy paths. They worked until sunset. When Maya finally picked up the lantern, it shone brighter than ever before. Golden stars sparkled through every tiny hole carved into its sides. The entire room glowed with warm light. It's beautiful, Maya whispered. Grandpa nodded. So are your choices. The next week, Maya had another question. Grandpa? Yes? What if someone isn't kind to me? Grandpa looked thoughtful. That happens sometimes. So should I stop being kind? Grandpa smiled gently. If the sun stopped shining because one cloud appeared, the whole world would become dark. Maya thought about that. She felt frustrated. Oh no. Grandpa quickly knelt beside her. Without saying a word, he began collecting the apples. Soon they were both laughing as apples rolled into funny places. When the basket was finally full, Maya looked at Grandpa. You helped me even though it wasn't your mistake. Grandpa smiled. Kindness doesn't wait for blame. That evening, Maya held the lantern close. It glowed softly. She realized something. The lantern didn't shine because it was magical. It shined because every kind choice reminded her to become a better person. The magic had never been inside the lantern. It had always been inside her. Winter arrived. Cool winds blew across Willow Creek. The trees rested peacefully, waiting for spring. Maya and Grandpa spent evenings reading stories beside the fireplace. One snowy afternoon, Maya noticed that the woodpile beside the cottage had become messy after strong winds. Without anyone asking, she stacked every piece neatly. When Grandpa came outside, he smiled. I didn't even ask. I know. Then why did you do it? Because it needed to be done. Grandpa nodded proudly. The best kindness is the kindness that expects nothing in return. As spring returned, colorful flowers filled every garden. Butterflies fluttered through the fields. Birds sang cheerful songs from sunrise until sunset. One morning, Maya placed the lantern on the windowsill. It was glowing even though she hadn't done anything yet. Grandpa? He walked over. Why is it glowing already? Grandpa smiled. What have you been thinking about today? Maya thought carefully. I was planning ways to help. There you have it. Even thinking kindly matters? It often becomes the first step. Later that week, Maya found an old wooden bench near the village path covered with dust and leaves. She spent the afternoon wiping it clean until it looked almost new. Grandpa joined her. Do you know who might sit here? No, neither do I. Then why clean it? Because someone, someday, will enjoy resting here. Maya smiled. She realized kindness didn't always need to know who would benefit. Months passed. The lantern never stopped glowing. Sometimes it shone brightly, sometimes softly, but it always reminded Maya of something important. Every kind choice mattered, even the tiny ones, especially the tiny ones. One warm summer evening, Maya and Grandpa climbed the hill overlooking Willow Creek. The village sparkled below as little lights appeared in the windows of every home. Maya held up the lantern. Its golden light blended with the stars above. I finally understand. Grandpa smiled. What do you understand? I wanted to change the whole world. And? I can't change the whole world all at once. Grandpa nodded. But I can make one place brighter. And tomorrow? I can brighten another. Grandpa smiled proudly. Exactly. As they watched the stars twinkle overhead, Maya looked at the lantern one last time. It wasn't just a lantern anymore. It had become a reminder. Every smile shared, every helping hand, every thoughtful choice, every encouraging word, every act of kindness added another little light to the world. And when millions of little lights shine together, even the darkest night becomes bright. From that day forward, Maya no longer searched for grand adventures or magical treasures. She discovered something even more valuable. The greatest magic wasn't hidden inside old lanterns. It lived inside caring hearts, and every single day gave her another chance to let that magic shine. Moral of the story: small acts of kindness may seem tiny, but together they can brighten hearts, spread happiness, and make the world a better place. Please like and subscribe to the channel.